A highly successful entrepreneur once said that whenever he looked at the news or read the news, and it was talking about his own field, things that he actually knew about, he would find that important things, in fact most of it, was wrong. But he goes, strangely, when I read about things I don't know about, politics, international relations, I always assume that the news is accurate. So this is a way in which the news promotes deception in many fields, but the ordinary guy is not aware of it. I was thinking of all this because I've been seeing that Wikipedia, which is, by the way, always asking for money, has ramped up its appeals around the end of the year. And the reason Wikipedia wants money is they're saying, oh, you've got to support this online encyclopedia. Now, when I was a kid, I would read the encyclopedia, and it was a trove of information. Now, I recognize, of course, that it wasn't, quote, value-free or objective in the pure sense, because all ideas are presented from some point of view. But nevertheless, the encyclopedia, the old Oxford Encyclopedia, for example, tried to present things in a fair-minded way. This is sort of how things are. With Wikipedia, however, I notice that things are presented consistently, particularly when it comes to politics, in an extremely tendentious and biased way. And I can present this by looking, for starters, at myself. I look up my own Wikipedia page. It says, oh, it uses this phrase, conspiracy theorist. And I think to myself, okay, well, you'd expect someone who makes this allegation to give a list of the conspiracies that I've been alleging. But in fact, I've alleged none. I said Obama got his ideas from his dad. Well, he says that himself. I said that the radical Muslims point to the decadence of Hollywood as an example of the depravity of American culture. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's a fact. I talk about the leftist roots, the fascist roots of the American left in my book, Death of a Nation and movie. And that's documented with extensive evidence. So then I turn to Wikipedia's page on fascism, where in the first line I read that fascism is a far-right ideology. Now look, you can make this argument, but you would think you'd contend with certain inconvenient facts. All the leading founders of fascism were leftists. Mussolini, the main founder of fascism, was a Marxist. Mussolini says everything in the state, nothing outside the state. That doesn't sound like a very right-wing thing to say. In other countries, in England, Oswald Mosley. In Germany, in Italy, Nicola Bombaci in Italy was the co-founder of the Italian Communist Party. He was Mussolini's chief advisor in Salo. So there's overwhelming evidence that fascism came from the left. Now, you could argue it came from the left, but it migrated to the right. My point is Wikipedia doesn't do any of this. They exclude all the inconvenient information to give the false idea that we can conveniently assume that fascism is on the right. So this is not an encyclopedia in any meaningful sense of the word. We should distrust it, and if they ask you for money, just say no.